Shalom, family. How's everybody today? Pray that everybody had a great Shabbat. I know I did. I was really blessed this Shabbat. And before we get into the lesson, I want to kind of tell you what occurred over this Shabbat weekend. One of my subscribers, and I'll just call him Brother Nathaniel, inquired a few days ago about, being baptized. And so I hit him back up, and gave him the ministry number, and he called it. And so we arranged to get that done for him. And he came and worshiped with us this Shabbat on Saturday. And he is a very pleasant young man. I wish at his age, I wish that's when I'd sought out the Most High in His truth, the way we are now. I wish I'd have started at a much earlier age. But even though I may have 14 years behind, being in the truth still, I wish I'd have done it when I was 30. But anyway, he just showed his seriousness about the Most High and Mashiach. He inquired, and then he called a ministry line, then he came in person. And, I got to meet him and talk to him a little. And so he can bear witness that Elder Scales is not just an avatar. I'm a real person, Sometimes when people don't see you, they don't know if you exist or not. But he'll tell you, I am a real person. And the same way I speak on my channel, in person I talk the same way. He'll tell you it's no different. I don't have one personality for YouTube and another one in person. No, I talk the same way all the time. So, after Shabbat, he called again, and he wanted to get this baptism done. And so our pastor at our assembly, Pastor Reynolds, agreed to do it, but he told him, we got an indoor pool that we can use, and he did not want that. He wanted to be in a lake or a river, and so who are we to deny that? Okay, if this is what you want, this is what's going to have to happen. And trust me, family, it's pretty cold, on Sunday, today. And I know the temperature couldn't have been no more than about 50, so that means the water going to be around about 40. But we wasn't going to deny it, because he was dead serious. He lives in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so it's about maybe a 45-minute drive from where he lives to here. But we all assembled, we met down at the lake, and we got it done. Now that speaks a lot to me. That really blessed me to see a young man that dedicated, that serious, that he would get out of his comfort zone. He didn't care about the water being cold or what. And so we couldn't care. We had to get it done. And we did. And so that really blessed me this week, family. I'm always blessed when I see the younger generation coming up, with a strong faith, strong belief in the Most High. Because if the Mashiach delays his coming, then all of us that's teaching now will probably be asleep in the grave. And it's going to be up to the generation behind us to continue this work. And hopefully they do it better than what we did. So it always blesses me to see the younger people being that serious. I mean, he was serious. He was not going to be denied being baptized, no matter what the weather was or the water temperature. And so that really blessed me, family. That really blessed me today. And so I just, you know, my hat's off to him. That's what you call dedication and willingness to suffer, you know, to get out of your comfort zone, to obey the Most High. And you just, it doesn't get any better than that, family. You know. So I just want him to know, I mean, we didn't bless him, he blessed us. You know, just seeing that dedication. You know, I'm the one got blessed out of it, I think. You know, me and the pastor, I think he blessed us just by showing his dedication. Wow. Well, okay, family. I had to speak briefly on that. But today, family, we got to destroy a false doctrine that will really, really cause people to miss it. You know, looking for the wrong thing to happen. And what I'm speaking of, family, is this rapture thing. You know, because a lot of people come up through the church like we all did mostly. And this is the doctrine that they teach. And it is totally false. There's nowhere in the scriptures saying we're going anywhere before the rapture. Mashiach returns after tribulation, not before. But, you know, they have these verses that they use to try and make that claim. But if you read the verses carefully, that don't even work. So let's start off and get your pad and pencil, family, because we're going through a lot of scriptures today. And that way, on your own, you know, you can read them, study them, and then when anybody approach you with this rapture stuff, I mean, you can definitely defend the word and show them in many places where they're wrong, okay? So this is what we got to do, family. We got to show other people, not just yourselves, show other people where that's wrong and it's dangerous, okay? Because you'll be the ones that get deceived. Remember, Mashiach told you, he warned you. You know, if they say I'm here or I'm there, don't believe them. Don't go. All right, so let's start off with what they use sometimes. And we're going to start with Matthew 24, verse 37 through 40. And it says, "But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." See now, Mashiach right there he's giving you a comparison. You know, analogy of how this is going to work. How it's going to be. Okay? Verse 38. "For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark." Verse 39. "And knew not until the flood came and took them all away." Listen to what it said. And took them all away. Mean killed. "So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." Verse 40. "Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken and the other left." This is where they try to get that rapture theory from. But two being in the field, one taken and the other left. The one that's taken mean killed. Remember? Keep it in context. Go back to in the days of Noah. It say, and took them all away. Took. And he's telling you in verse 40, two shall be in the field, one shall be taken, and the other left. In other words, when he comes back, one is going to be saved and the other is going to be destroyed. That's the whole principle of what he's trying to say here. All right, you're not going to get beamed up. I'm sorry. Okay, now, so let's see what we should expect, family. You know, listen. Was Noah spared the flood? No, he was not. He had to go through that time of trouble, that tribulation. But he was saved out of it. He was saved through it. Remember, he had to stay in that boat a long time. So he didn't miss the flood. You know, he was just saved through it. But he had to see it. He had to see that tribulation come up on the earth. Okay, so the Most High, we'll see tribulation. He'll just deliver us through it. It's not to say we're not going to see it. It's not to say we're going to be raptured up and everything's good. We ain't going to see none of it. Yes, you are. There are going to be still people alive when Mashiach comes. They're going to go through tribulation. But they have to endure. That's what it is. All right. Let's go to John 16:33. These things have I spoken unto you, that in ye you might have peace. In the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Now, does that sound like you going anywhere? He said, in the world you're going to have tribulation. And we are. We're seeing the beginnings of sorrows now. And it's going to be much, much worse, family. Matthew chapter 24, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor shall ever be. He's letting you know it's going to be tribulation. Why would he tell you that if you're not going to be here? Huh? You're going to be all raptured up before it happens. Why would he say that? He's warning you. He's letting you know what to expect. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 30. When thou art in tribulation, and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days, if thou turn to the Lord thy Elohim, and shalt be obedient unto his voice. See that? I mean, it's telling you there, even in the latter days. You know, we're to turn to the Most High. Now, this next verse, I could have just used this verse here and went on and shut the video down. Because that would have destroyed all this rapture stuff. I could have just used this one verse. But we're going to use plenty. See, people are trying to find wiggle room around one verse. But we're going to have plenty, okay? So like I say, always have your pen and pad ready when you watch my teaching, because I use a lot of scripture, family. I mean, a lot of it. Okay? Now this is the verse that could have ended it all. Acts chapter 14, verse 22. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of Yah. That, I mean, I could have used that and went on and this video shouldn't have been no more than about 3 minutes long. I could have used that one. Okay, let's go to Revelation chapter 7, verse 14. And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, These are they which came out of the great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. See, John is being shown a vision of the saints that had to go through the tribulation. See, but they remained faithful. They didn't accept the mark. They stayed obedient. See, you know, family, when this persecution of the Most High's people start, some of us probably be killed for this word. You know, but like I say, that's not the end. We can't fear those that can kill the body, because, you know, the Most High can kill the body and your soul, and, you know, you be in eternal damnation. That's who we fear. Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. See, this Daniel's letting you know that the things to come are going to be horrific. You know, much trouble. We've never seen the likes of it, and we'll never see it again. Okay. Now let's go to Revelation chapter 12. And see, we'll read from, I believe that's verse 1 to 3. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Now we know who that is. The 12 stars are the 12 tribes. Verse 2, and she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. This is talking about the birth of Mashiach. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, Satan, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. See. Let's skip down to verse 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had prepared a place prepared of Yah, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. That's 3.5 months. Years, I'm sorry. Revelation 12. Let's go drop down to 13 and 14. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child, the woman being Israel. Verse 14, and to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and a half a time. I'm sorry, that's the 3.5 years. From the face of the serpent. Drop down to verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Yah, and have the testimony of Mashiach. You see that, family? We're going to be hunted down, just as it was in ancient Rome. It's coming back again with this modern day Rome, which have the same characteristic, to kill anyone who does not accept the doctrine of devils. And that's exactly what it is. You know, changing the days of worship, changing the 10 commandments. You know, just changes. And Daniel 7:25 tells you that. that he's going to wear out the saints and change the laws of the Most High, and times and everything else. Okay? And if you want to know where that came from, Revelation 12 about the woman, it actually started with a dream that Joseph had. You know, and that's partly the reason why his brothers despised him. You know, and you know what they did to him. He ended up in Egypt. But let's read where that came from, family. Revelation 12, the verse we read. Let's see where it came from. Genesis chapter 37, verse 5 through 10. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. See, they didn't like him anyway, because he was kind of a favorite, you know, with Jacob. Verse 6, and he said unto them, hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. And he's finna tell him his dream. For behold, there were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. See, really, that dream, what he's saying is that he was going to be over them. And eventually he was, you know, because he was made a high position in Egypt. And they came up under his authority when they went there, right? So he had a dream about this, but they didn't like it at all. Verse 8 says, and his brethren said unto him, shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. Well, yeah, because he did end up over them, right? Okay. Verse 9, and he dreamed yet another dream, and told it to his brethren, and said, behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. See, he said 11 stars because he yet, when he had that dream, he didn't have any offspring. You know, what is it? Ephraim and Manasseh, one of the two. They hadn't been in existence, which would complete, you know, the 12 stars. Verse 10, and he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him, and said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? Well, eventually that's what happened. Because they had to go to Egypt, you know, because of the famine. And Joseph held a high position. You see, but that's where that 12 stars come from that you read about. It came from his dream. All right? Now, see, it's not going to be no secret rapture. Mashiach's not going to sneak in here, you know, and quietly rapture people away, and all of a sudden clothes fall on the floor and cars crashing, you know, some of that left behind mess that they show on TV. It's not going to be anything secret about it at all. You know, what they try to use is that the Most High or Mashiach will come as a thief in the night. That don't mean he's coming secret. That means he's coming at a time when you don't think he is. You're going to be caught off guard. That's what it means when it says a thief in the night. If somebody was going to break in your house, they're not going to tell you what hour and what day and what night they're going to do it, because you'd be watching, right? And so this the same way with Mashiach. He's not going to tell you the day or the hour. Because what would we do? If we knew the exact date and hour that Mashiach was coming back, we'd lived sinfully all the way up until a day or two before he came and then repent. See, that's why he's coming as a thief in the night. You know, to catch you off guard. So that's what that means. It don't mean he gonna slip in here and nobody knows he came but the believers, you know, they gonna disappear and nah, none of that. In fact, let's read some scriptures about how he's coming. Matthew 24:27. For as the light cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Have you ever been traveling down a dark road, you know, no street lamp, and all of a sudden, you know, a storm brew up and lightning goes across the sky? You know, it lights up everything. You can even see buildings or something. You know, it's so bright. Does that sound like something secret to you? No. Ain't nothing sneaky or secret about that. Hebrews 9:28. So Mashiach was once offered to bear the sins of many, and unto them that look for him he shall appear the second time without sin unto salvation. There's only going to be one second time, family. It can't be 2 second times. He's coming this second time. That's it. And it will be after tribulation. Okay, Revelation 22:12 say, and behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. See, it's not going to be anything sneaky, anything just under the table, you know, quietly do this. No, it's going to be plenty noisy. And he also tells you, the scriptures tells us, how he's going to come back. He's going to come back the same way he left. Let's read it. Acts chapter 1, verse 9 through 11. And he was talking to the disciples, okay? And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. Okay, he's Mashiach's leaving now. Verse 10. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel. Now we got to know those are 2 angels, right? All right. And here's what they said to his disciples. Ye men of Galilee, why stand you gazing up into heaven? This same Mashiach, which is taken up from you into heaven, so shall come in like manner as you have seen him go into heaven. See, he's coming back in the clouds. We all know that. The same way he left, the same way he's coming back. And this is why those 2 angels told him, you know, why y'all looking up? He's coming back the same way he left. You know, he'll be coming back with angels. Those angels were witnesses. Okay, let's see if this is going to be something sneaky. Revelation 1, verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds. See, we just read that. Those 2 angels told him he's coming back with the clouds, just like he left. And every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kinds of kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. See, everybody's going to see him. There ain't nothing secret. And it say the people that pierced him, they gonna mourn too when he returns. So it's not gonna be no he sneak in here one night and grab up his faithful and no, you're gonna get to see it. You also gonna get to see tribulation, family. You know, so this is why we got to get our minds right now, you know, and choose, you know, whom we gonna serve, who we gonna remain loyal to, even unto death. Some of us gonna have to die, family, for this word. You know, I bet you all the disciples that followed Mashiach, I mean, they were with him personally, you know, every day. I bet you they wish that they could have got raptured up, because remember, Mashiach was already raised from the dead and ascended back when they got killed. So where was the rapture? How come he didn't rapture them? I'm pretty sure they wish they could have got raptured, but they were killed. They were martyred. The only one that didn't get martyred was John, you know, and he went into exile in, what is that, Patmos, and was given the visions, you know, of Revelation by Mashiach. He's the only one that didn't get martyred. All right. Psalms 50:3. Our Elohim shall come and shall not keep silence. See? A fire shall devour before him, and it shall be very tempestuous round about him. That don't sound secret to me. That sounds like it's going to be pretty frightful, family. Even us to believe it, we line to get shook just a little bit, you know. Because it's going to be bad. Matthew 24, verse 30 and 31. And then shall appear the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet. And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. That don't sound secret to me. It don't sound like some kind of sneaky rapture thing they trying to push. Because all this takes place after tribulation, family. He's going to gather us together, but it's not like they try to put it. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians. We're going to go to chapter 4, verse 13 through 17. Let's see what it says here. But I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that you sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. See, we're talking about those who have already died. This is what this is talking about. It's not talking about rapturing nobody. It's talking about the dead. And for us not to be, you know, overly, disturbed by it. You know, when we lose a loved one, of course we're upset. But if they died in Mashiach, he's just telling you, don't be too concerned for them. You know, they good. You know, they died in the faith, so they good. Verse 14 say, for if we believe that Mashiach died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Mashiach will God bring with him. See? Will Elohim bring with him when he comes. 15, for this we say unto you by the word of the Most High, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Most High shall not prevent them which are asleep. It's telling you right there, we that are alive and remain, there's going to be people on this planet, you know, through tribulation. Those of us who don't go to sleep, you know, before Mashiach comes, it's people going to have to go through this. All right? Verse 16, for the Most High himself shall descend from heaven with a shout. That is not sneaky. That is not quiet. A shout. With the voice of the archangel and with the trump of Elohim, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. See, there's going to still be people here when Mashiach returns. And the ones that died in him are going to be raised first. All right? And what does verse 17 say? Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Most High in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Most High. This is after the tribulation, not before. Okay? That's when he gathers us up. See. Matthew 25:31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. That's letting you know that's after the tribulation, family, not before. Don't let these people fool you into this. Oh, well, you know, before tribulation, the church gonna be taken out the way. No, it's not. No, it is not. You know, that's a lie. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 51, 52. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. 52. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. You keep noticing, family, it's a shout and a trump, and it's going to be very loud. You know, when things concern the Most High's speaking or whatever, you know, you're not going to mistake it. What did the children of Israel tell Moses? You speak to us. Let not the Most High speak to us, because when he's speaking, you know, the mountains shaking and rumbling, and, you know, it's very scary, in other words. So there ain't nothing secret about this. Every man gonna know. Matthew 24, verse 13 through 18. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. See that right there? It's about endurance. We may have to go through this, but those who endure are the ones that's going to be saved. Listen, was Daniel spared the lion's den? No, he was not. He actually had to be put in it. But he was saved through it. See what I'm saying? He had to spend the night in there with them beasts. But the Most High saved him through that tribulation, that trial. And that's what it was. It was a trial. Daniel remained faithful, even though he knew that they had passed a law that he couldn't worship no other God. He knew it. But, you know, he just really, okay, well, go ahead and throw me in there, because, you know, I'm going to pray 3 times a day like I've been doing to my Elohim, not yours. Same with the 3 Hebrew boys. You know, they didn't know whether the Most High was going to deliver them from that furnace or not. So they had to go. He didn't spare them from being put in there. He saved them through it. See? So we'll go through tribulation, and the Most High saves us through it if we remain faithful and believe. It's not that things is not going to happen, family. Like I always say, we can't change prophecy. It's going to happen. We just pray that the Most High is with us through these things. Okay? Because you're not getting raptured up out of here. I'm telling you that now. So I hate to bust a lot of people's bubble, but you're not going anywhere. Let's see. Verse 14. I was at Matthew 24:13. Let's go to 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And then the end shall come. See. When you therefore see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Okay. Verse 16, then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Verse 18, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. See, it's letting you know. I mean, do that sound like it? He said, when you see these things, flee. It didn't say nothing about, okay, well, when this stuff happens, I'm going to rapture you up. No, he told you to flee, run. Okay? And let's see what. Yeah, this is that other verse they try to use. Luke 17, verse 34 through 36. I tell you, in that night there shall be 2 men in one bed. The one shall be taken and the other shall be left. 2 women grinding at the mill together, the one shall be taken and the other left. 2 men shall be in the field, the one taken and the other left. And you just have to go back to the days of Noah. The ones that was taken now, they didn't make it. See, in other words, it's saying the one that's taken, you know, was an unbeliever. He was destroyed. The one that's left was the believer. Revelation chapter 3, verse 10 and 11. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. See, temptations and trials is going to come upon the earth, and it said to try them to dwell upon the earth. Do we dwell on the earth? Because if we do, yeah, you're going to get tried. Verse 11 said, behold, I come quickly. Hold fast that which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. In other words, stick to your guns, family. Stick to them. Stay in faith. Stay in belief. He said, hold fast to that, so won't nobody take your crown. Don't go running after this false doctrine. You gonna be raptured and this Sunday worship and all that. Don't. Stick to what you know is biblically and scripturally correct. The word of the Most High himself, not man. These man-made doctrines. Okay? Isaiah chapter 11, verse 4. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. This is what's going to happen when he shows back up. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Okay? Let's read more about what's going to happen here. Revelation chapter 6, verse 15 through 17. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Verse 16, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. Verse 17. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? See, all this searching out the wealth, you know, a lot of these pastors, that's all they teach on is prosperity and money. Your money not going to do anything for you. All the wealth you got, the positions you got, you can be a president, a king, or any leader. It means nothing. Because when Mashiach returns, you going to beg for death. And death going to flee from you. You know, they begging for the mountains, you know, rocks to fall on them rather than the face of Mashiach. Okay? What does Jeremiah 30, verse 7 say? At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Didn't say we wouldn't go through it, did it? Said saved out of it. Just like Daniel had to go into the lion's den, but he was saved out of it. So that where they getting this from, you know, pre-tree up stuff, oh, when all this stuff happened, we gone. No, you not. Sorry. And those of you that believe in that, please get away from it. Find you a good Israelite assembly and start learning the true word of the Most High. Get away from these false teachers and hirelings. That's what they are. They're hirelings. They're not pastors. They're in it for the money. Just think about it. When you go to one of these churches, when do you ever hear them teaching from Daniel or Revelation? See, they won't, because just teaching from them two will destroy that rapture stuff. So they're not going to teach from that. Most of them probably can't, you know. So they're not going to teach you nothing like that. All they teach you about is what the Most High give you if you give this. That's it. Not warning you of the times ahead and what to expect. Let's see what else. Matthew chapter 10, verse 18 through 22. This is the things that Mashiach is telling us that can happen to us. Verse 18. And you shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what you shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what you shall speak. In other words, family, you know, when they start persecuting us, snatching us up because we refuse their doctrine and we continue to preach the true word, he said, well, you know, don't try to plan on what you're going to say. He said, in that hour, the Spirit, the Most High Spirit going to tell you what to say. Okay? And let's see. Verse 20 says, for it is not you that speak, but the Spirit of your Father, which speaketh in you. See, you're not going to have to struggle for words. He's going to give you the words to say. Verse 21, and the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents, and cause them to be put to death. Verse 22, and you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. Do that sound like anywhere in that verse? Does it sound like you're going to be raptured? He's telling you what you got to go through. Your own people may betray you and deliver you up. You know, he's spoken about that many times. You know, he'll tell you sometimes the worst enemy is those in your own household. So these kind of things are going to happen, and he's pre-warning you, you know, of these things that's going to happen. But it's all about enduring to the end, you know. So we'll see what's going to happen here in this verse, since people think they're not going to be here. We'll see when the Mashiach is going to come and get us and separate us from the wicked, okay? Matthew chapter 13, verse 38 and 39. And it's explaining it. It says, the field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. Verse 39. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. Remember, in other verses where it say the Most High's angels gonna gather us up? Remember that? And it's describing the field as the world. And Satan has his seed sowed in with the wheat and the tares, had it sowed in among us. But at the end, when Mashiach comes, he's going to separate them. Okay? During the harvest, when he comes to get his own. It tells you that in verse 39. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world. When he gets us, that's a wrap. It's over. Okay? But that's not no pre-tribulation, family. That's afterwards. All right? So we need to prepare ourselves for what we may have to go through. And we just pray that the Most High is with us. Just as the 3 Hebrew boys did. They did not know that the Most High was going to save them from that furnace. Because if they knew it, then that's not a trial. That took no faith. If you already knew you were going to be delivered from the furnace, they didn't know if he was going to do it or not because they said it. King, we don't know, if the Most High chooses, he can save us from this furnace. But we just want you to know, if he doesn't, we still not going to bow down. And that infuriated Nebuchadnezzar and told him to heat that thing up 7-fold. Because they said that. They say, even if he don't deliver us, we're not going to worship your image. And so, family, this is the attitude we're going to have. When these people try to force this Sunday worship and all these other laws that are against the Most High, we just going to have to stand our ground. And throw that doctrine out of your head that you're going to be taken before the tribulation. No, you're not. Now, some of us may fall asleep before Mashiach returns. And those of us that fall asleep in the Most High, in Mashiach, he's going to raise us first when he comes. And then those who are still alive, that made it through the tribulation, then they'll be changed instantly. As the scripture says. But that is not before. Okay, so get that out your mind. If the things have gotten bad now, so why is the church still here, as the pastors say? The church ain't going to be here. I looked around, looked like to me everybody's still here. So know what to expect. It's either way it go, it's a price for following Mashiach. There's a price attached to it. You're going to be persecuted, hated, even maybe killed. But the other price of it is everlasting life. No more death. No more sick bodies and all that. So I think I'd really pay the other price instead of the one of not serving the Most High. You know, it's a price attached to it. All you have to do is ask our prophets and our forefathers and apostles. They were murdered. You know, Stephen was stoned to death for this word. You know, all the disciples were martyred. You know, just pretty much all the prophets. You know, they were getting killed left and right. So we may have to go through something, but we need to make our mind up right now. This is not something you can make a snap decision on. You know, when it start happening, then you try to decide. You know, family, telling somebody, you know what, like, I'm not going to violate the Most High's law, so kill me. That's not an easy thing to say, family. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend it is either. You know, nobody wants to have to leave that way. So it's not something that, you know, just you take lightly. Because if, you know, you just choosing death, you know, you'd rather die than to violate the Most High. Because you know what violating him is, you know, that's permanent. Not only physical death, but spiritual death too. You know, spiritual death is separation from the Most High, and you'll be separated from him permanently. There's no coming back from that, family. Okay? Now, we're going to come back from the dead. You know, we're going to be raised again. You know, in different bodies. There's no coming back from going against the Most High. You can't make it back from that. Okay? All right, family. I hope that you learn something from that today, and be sure to write these scriptures down and study them for yourself so you can refute anybody come trying to tell you they're going to be raptured. Okay? The scriptures nowhere says that. Nowhere. No. After tribulation, he's going to gather the saints. Okay? To himself. Okay, family. I'm sure, Most High willing, I'll talk to you again sometime this week. Shalom.